So, good afternoon and welcome to my podcast. Well, I'm quite an ignorant person. I may lack many knowledge, and I don't know if it's exactly a podcast or something, but anyways, I guess podcast is something that you sit in front of a mic and camera, record yourself and just talk about something, maybe with a guest or something. But well, I'm just gonna start, and I'm sorry if the external background noises disturbs the quality, makes the quality bad. um, as you can see, there's no fancy setup. It's just me with my phone camera and a small mic that I have, and I'm gonna use it. And yeah, and plus with that, in addition, it's just me, my mic and a camera, my phone camera, and a person who is socially awkward and he lacks communication skills. So I don't know how the hell this podcast is gonna be, but I'm gonna try my best because this is something that I always wanted to try. Rather than blogging, this is something that I always want to try. But better things to start. First, to start, I mean, say, but there's no right time to jump. So I just started with whatever I have, and it's all about. At the end of the day, it's all about mindset and how much hungry you are to change yourself, right? And that's what we're going to talk about today. How important is a mindset for a man to build himself, And this is what we're going to talk about today. This is what I'm going to discuss, and this is the topic that my podcast is going to be based on. So yeah, how is it going to go? Well, I don't know. But like I said, at the end of the day, it's the message that I have no fancy things, right? But at the end of the day, it's a message that I want to deliver more than quality, right? And I would be glad if I had a good quality set, but it is what it is. But like I said, it's a message that I want to deliver, my own opinion, not consumed by others, but through my own opinion. So let's start. How important is a mindset for a man to build himself? I've written anyway, so like I said, I lack communication skills, so let's start. One of the best things a man can build for himself in his life is to build an unbreakable mindset for him to reach greatness in life. And yes, it's only a mindset in which our success is dependent on, and it's only a mindset that shapes an individual to who he is, to who he is going to be in life. So with that, it may sound a little bit weird coming out from a man who has done nothing in life, who has not achieved greatness in life, and who is still in the same place, waking up, doing the same thing, who has not made enough money in his life. And so it may sound weird, but it's true because of the standard that a society has set for successful men, right? That a man who has earned millions and built great mansions and drives fancy cars is only successful, and guys like us, am I successful? Obviously not, but saying it, guys like us who speaks like that is somehow a nobody, right? So it might sound weird coming from my mouth, because to be honest, frankly speaking, yes, I have not achieved anything in life. I had been living in shadows for years, my whole life, to my adulthood. But how can I relate and talk about mindset even though I have not achieved anything in life? Is because there's a saying, I think it's a Russian writer, I don't clearly remember what the quote was, but he had written somewhere. I just found out that it's something written like, even though I have not tasted great victories in life, but I have tasted great defeats in life that makes me, something like that. So same goes to me, like I have not tasted great victories in life, but there have been many defeats in my life that I've faced, that I may have experienced, and may know few things about how building a mindset for a person can help him, to transform his life into something that is unshakable, greatness. So even though I have not seen the world and faced the world, but I have faced life and its adversities. So yes, with that, we must all know, I may be able to contribute and talk few things about how a mindset has helped me build myself, and why is it important with experience. So we must all have heard about having a Goggins mindset, a Mamba mentality, of we have all referred that mindset to us. We have in some part of our lives, in situations, because guys like David Goggins and Kobe Bryant have set such a standard in this world, which made us believe about how much a human mind can achieve and build, and how much a mind can push you when your body is not being able to, and so being a man who grew up weak as a child, and who was not exposed to many great things, and even in his teenage years, which was filled with his insecurities, and was underconfident, which had a great impact in his life, while he was growing into now becoming an adult, you know being an underconfident guy who could never make a decision for himself, and who was filled with weaknesses. I can tell you that much, that once I decided to change my mindset, a lot of things had changed from who I was to who I became and who I am now. Even though I may have not tasted great victories, but when I look back to my past, many things have changed, and many weaknesses turned into strength, all because one day I just woke up and decided to change my life. And how do I change my life? Is by changing my mindset, my way of thinking, my way of accepting things. And it all starts by accepting yourself, by realizing pointing out your weaknesses and making it into strength. And that's why, like I said, I may have not experienced many victories in life, but maybe it's zero to none, but I can tell you, I have faced many shit in life. It's not a complaint, but many experience. I have been among many experiences in life where I felt shit from about myself, and with that, I know that how much a mindset, building a mindset, a proper mindset, a winning mindset, a mindset of a warrior, let's say a Goggins mindset, or a Mamba mentality, has helped me build myself. Even though I have started it late, but I am much better person than who I was before. And so, and therefore mindset, and therefore what I can say is, this mindset cannot be built through by reading books and just by watching David Goggins 1 hour podcast or motivational videos and going for a running few kilometers and coming back for that day, or second 2 days or 3 days or even a week. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna be built just like that. You're still gonna be the same person, because building a mindset, it's a whole lot of process, and I can tell you that it's been 3 years for me living this life, and there are days when I want to quit. And that's why, when a person decides to build a mindset, he starts by doing three things, to my experience. One is commitment to himself, a promise to himself, keeping it simple. Second is visualizing his goals, to who he wants to become. He has to visualize it here. And third is to be fucking disciplined and consistent. These three things is only, it's only how a man can build an unshakable mindset. First it starts by promises, and that's what I realize. It's only when, it's not just this being disciplined. It's not just doing things every day. It's about making yourself a promise that who you want to be now, where do you want to see? It's visualizing where do you want to see yourself, what goals do you want to achieve, what purpose is there in your life, you know. And thirdly, it's like discipline, which is going to be forever. And trust me, you know, one thing I have realized is when you start becoming disciplined and when you start building your mindset, that's when life starts getting more fucked up, you know. It's easy, you know, it's easy to have a great life when everything is going well, but once you hit that rock bottom, and that's when many men, you know, they wake up, and which I woke up, and that's when many men starts building a mindset for himself. He wants to see himself grow. That's when, you know, and that's where the real life starts, and the real life is hell, to be honest. I wouldn't say my life is hell, but I have everything, you know, every basic necessity that I need as a man, but every day is a fucking war, you know. And for that you must have a mindset, because, you know, being consistent and disciplined is not just for 1 or 2 years and then you go and live again. You start doing same old shit that you have been doing before, that consume you, that made you weak. No, being disciplined and consistent is for everyday thing, you know. You wake up, you do that same shit, you grind, whether it be in business or in as a sports person, whether you are an MMA fighter or a boxer or anyone, you know, there are gonna be days when you're gonna be faced defeats more than wins. And how strong is your mindset? And that's where mindset comes, right? How strong are you gonna keep going on, even though when your life is not going exactly, even though there are days when you're fucking frustrated and you just want to give up. And I have faced those, you know, I have faced those. Because there are many times when I just don't want to do anything and I just want to live like a normal man, the weak me, who he was. Just want to sleep till 8 o'clock morning and not, you know, waking up at 4:30, which I usually do. So there are days when I want to just lie down and not work out or not write my articles or not make a podcast or video content for YouTube, even though, because, you know, it takes a mindset for these small things as well. You know, it starts with one small thing. Like I said, every champ who is a champion now in any field or sport, or every CEO or every businessman who is a millionaire or billionaire now, he was a nobody before, he was a contender before in life. And it was just his mindset which he kept pushing, you know, that made him who he is, who he is now, you know. And I always believe, you know, one thing is that every champion, I watch lots of MMA stuff, so every champion was a contender who just believed in himself, you know. So for that's where a mindset is needed for a man, you know. And that's what I wanted to talk about. So every day, even though when I see there are no views and no reach for my content and no one reads my article, and mind you, this is not a complaint, or I'm not begging for shit, but there's a question that I question myself: do I want to continue this, you know? And I say one more day, you know, one more fucking day, and the next day is one more fucking day, because to be honest, nothing changes, you know. I may have one good day where I am getting enough views and success, let's just say, in my field, and for the next 20 days there's zero, you know, and the shit is dry. So for the next 20 days I keep being consistent for another day, and that's how I've been going, because I don't like, you know, nobody likes to live in a discomfort. Sorry if the background external noises are too irritating. Like I said, there's no good set or whatever, but bear with it, like how I am. So that's what, right? Everything needs a mindset, you know. Everything fucking needs a mindset. And whoever watches this, if you are watching and if you have reached this point, you know, there's a mindset you gotta have. Every day waking up and living for that one fucking day until death comes to you, and you gotta be ready for the death. But while the death is still awaiting you, you gotta be there with your sword on, you know. I visualize myself as a lone warrior who is fighting demons, and every day he wants to die, but there's still a fight that he wants to fight, which he doesn't know, but he keeps going, defeating his enemy, fighting, and some days he just wants to cut himself, he just wants to end himself, but he still fights, so I visualize myself as that, because there's a war going in everybody's life, which we don't know. So that's why mindset is an important thing, and be it David Goggins, Kobe Bryant, any great champions, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, they have all been in a dark space. They have always all being in a dark space. That's why they are who they are. You cannot be great by just living in a comfort, by just having a rich father. You cannot be great. Maybe you can be rich but not great. And I'm not saying I want to be great personally. I don't want to be great. I don't want to be great, to be honest. But I just want to be great for myself. When I look, like now when I look back to my past, I don't have good memories. But 30 years from now, 40 years from now, 10 years from now, I don't want to look at myself and feel like shit. So that's what I am doing for myself. That's why I'm building this mindset for myself. And in this process, I'm ready to lose my mind. Like in this art, I'm ready to lose my mind, to build myself. And it's gonna be lonely, I know. And I'm gonna miss out many things. And I'm not saying I cannot live my life like a normal human being. Maybe some days I might want to enjoy few things in life. Maybe some days I might want to go and attend my favorite artist concert, and for that I must stay late for past my time. And maybe I might go on a vacation for soon if I reach that level where I can take myself a vacation to some place that I want to go, which is obviously Japan. Maybe I go there. Maybe I might have a good bowl of ramen, which I usually don't. It's not normal for me, to be honest, now to consume it, but I may. And it's okay for me as long as I wake up every fucking day and the ratio of my enjoyment is always lower than my hustle, my work, because I always believe you can always enjoy life. Like I said, it's we human beings, we have made it so compliments. We think we deserve so many things. We deserve that thing. We deserve that. And even when we become disciplined, we think we don't deserve that. No, we don't deserve things that makes us weak. But maybe, personally, I'm saying, I'm not making an excuse to enjoy things, but maybe when I make money and I can afford an event for a UFC event, my favorite fighter, I will go and I will stay past my bedtime. But there's a difference, with me and others, is that others, they will fucking enjoy their life by drinking and living, but I will just go there to watch my favorite fighters fight and enjoy. But at the same time, I'm not gonna drink, I'm not gonna smoke, and that's the mindset not many understands. Instead of complicating things, I'm gonna go to that concert of my favorite artist. I'm gonna get, but I'm not gonna act like a hooligan, and I'm just gonna go there, enjoy have a good time, come back home, and sleep and wake up that time, my timing, and go for my run and my workout and do my things that is needed. Some days I will have a brain for burnout, let's say, because like I said, being consistent is fucking hard. Like I said, when you're disciplined, life gets hard. And when you're gonna be completely isolated and you have nobody to talk, like right now I'm in my loneliest chapter of my life. So what I'm gonna do, I will take a rest, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna go and take a smoke and drink a beer, even though it's fine, many of guys can drink, but personally it's not for me. So I'm not gonna, I may watch an hour of a series or a movie, but I gotta remind myself, just because I'm feeling burnout doesn't mean I'm gonna do something. There's always someone active rest day, so mindset, like I said, mindset. You can chill, but you gotta remind yourself who you wanna be. The ratio, like I said, a ratio of your enjoyment and your work should be always above your enjoyment. Live that 80-20%, 80-20 of the life. 80%, it should be 80% work and 20% enjoyment, not 80% enjoyment. And that how I was living my life, right? That made me weak. I was doing 80% of enjoyment and 20% of work, which in 20% was not totally focused as well. So that's the mindset. And obviously, of course, when where that's where you need a mindset. Sorry, but that's where you need a mindset for you to grow. But like I said, it doesn't stop there. What happens when, imagine you build yourself and you reach that pinnacle where you want to reach, and now you're a man, you are a superstar, people knows you. Now I guess the second phase starts, because distraction, your mind will have lots of weapons to fuck you up. So even then, just because you have reached that peak of the Mount Everest, doesn't mean you don't have to descend down, and if you're not aware, life will pull your leg. And if you're not aware, just because you have reached the top of the peak doesn't mean you can't fall down. So that's where a mindset is necessary as well. And more importantly, it is then, you can't fuck up, because lots of people are gonna know you this and that. Lots of distraction, money is gonna come, and with that comes lots of distraction, popularity, and you may forget who you are. So that's why I like guys like David Goggins and Kobe Bryant, and because this guy is Kobe Bryant. He, even though he was who he was, but his mindset never changed. The way he was as a person never changed, and David Goggins never changed. But there are many people that change, and I don't quite respect them. But guys like David Goggins and all, they never change. Even though they attend, they enjoy the life, but they are who they still were. And that's the thing about having a mindset and building a mindset. You build when you hit a rock bottom, and you keep on going till you reach to that peak where you are who you want to be, and you continue living like that. And I guess I make sense, even though I may not be a successful man, but I may make sense. So yeah, that's it for today. Logging out, and I hope you guys like it.